ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to Eldora.
Wow, it's actually, it's pretty crazy being here. Literally 5 minutes ago, we just walked through the tunnel. Now we're in the infield and we're surrounded by this beautiful half mile.
And here is a look at the track. Walking up onto turn 1, seeing the banking in person. It really is, yeah, the camera don't even do it justice.
It's hard to put everything I'm thinking and feeling into words. Just very grateful to be here and excited to check this place off my bucket list. Of course, we've watched so many big shows here on TV from our living room at home and always dreaming of just getting the chance to run around the Big E.
I climbed up here in one of the photographer stands, and here's a little bit better look at everything.
Just so incredible, definitely taking it all in, but ready to get after it tonight with the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series in the Shark Racing number 1T. Now this is 4 Crown weekend, so not only do we have, you know, our class 410 wing sprint cars, but we also have non-wing 410s, USAC midgets, and Silver Crown cars. So it's a big weekend in Rossburg, Ohio, and I'm just happy that I get to be a part of it and bring you along with me for my journey. So it'll all be beginning here in a couple of hours. I think we're expecting 40 to 50 cars, a stout field, and just you know, anxious to get out on track, feel how it feels. I've watched obviously a lot of video and just been mentally preparing myself and just want to get out there and get that hot lap session out of the way. Shark Racing obviously has a lot more laps here than I have. I have none. So hopefully I'll just be, you know, the piece of the puzzle that we can plug in and try and make it happen. So we're going to hang out here for a little bit longer, get ready for the races to begin, and first thing on track we'll get some engine heat and then be right into hot laps and qualifying.
Your next 2 out from Jacksonville, Oregon. The Pels Tire Service Low E Reflective Insulation, Goofy's Eatery and Pub Shark Racing 1T, Tanner Holmes. And along with him, from Elveda, Ohio, the Ohio Logistics, Madison Motors, Redline Welding and Construction number 15K, Creed Kemenaugh. Tanner Holmes in 1T, Creed Kemenaugh in 15K. Tanner Holmes make his Eldora Speedway debut tonight, a 4-time winner this year in 360 competition. Creed Kemenaugh finished 4th in the C-Main here with the All-Stars during Ohio Speed Week, his only previous Eldora start. Tanner Holmes 4th quick on lap 1, 13,300, 1,3,300. Creed Kemenaugh goes to 13,527, 1,3,527. Kemenaugh with 2 360 wins this season. Second lap time for Tanner Holmes, a 13,300, identical times 13,300. Creed Kemenaugh improves to a 13,498, 1,3,498.
Well, our night has began here at the Eldora Speedway. Got our first laps at full speed, went out there and did a hot lap session, and then rolled right into qualifying. Luckily, we pulled a good pill. We pulled a 6, so we were one of the first cars out. And probably like normal when you go to, you know, a place for the first time, you just wish you could go and do your laps again because you're quickly always learning and picking up on so much as you go around each time. Hot laps, we were in the first group, so it was a little bit greasy. I mean, I think there was something to figure out, but racetrack was kind of still rolling its way in. And then went out there and qualifying and ended up 13th in Flight A, which is kind of right in the middle. I mean, I was hoping to be a little bit higher up. All the regular Outlaws were about 13.0, and then there was like this second group. There wasn't really anyone in the 13.1 bracket, but a lot of 13.2s and 13.3s, and that's where we were consistent because we ran like the exact same lap time on the first and the second go around. But it just is what it is. If I could change anything, I think on my second lap, if I would have drove into 3 and 4 just a little bit farther, I could have made up some time because I turned too soon and I just caught my left front in maybe a slightly greasy spot and just pushed my nose and lost some momentum coming to the checkered. Otherwise, I felt like I got through 1 and 2 well and down the back stretch, and every little adjustment, I mean 3/10 is a lot, but every little adjustment helps. So now we're gonna have a heat race up next, straight up with this format. There's 48 cars total, so a huge field, so they split us into 2 flights. We're gonna start 7th in heat 1, and they're gonna be taking the top 5 to the A main event. In the meantime, those Silver Crown cars are getting ready to go out, and I think midgets, so hopefully this racetrack slickens up a little bit and gets wider so we have a shot to pass some cars here from the drop of the green.
David Gravel and Sheldon Hodenshield bring us toward the stripe. Heat race action underway at Eldora for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Gravel with the early lead. Carson Macedo up to second. Challenged on the outside by Sheldon Hodenshield. What a battle into turn 3.
quick engine change going on here in the 1T pit. Went out there and ran our heat race. Started 7th, was running 8th. Ended up losing that one spot just because I tried something that in my head maybe sounded right, but just did not work on the start. It ended up putting me kind of in the middle in no man's land, and simply was kind of just spinning my tires more than being in the grip or being up closer to the fence. If I could do it again, I would have just stayed lower on the start. I didn't want to get too far into following the car right in front of me directly in the corner, and I kind of wanted to be up a little. They talk a lot about keeping your nose clean here, but I just made my front straightaway kind of low. So that in general just kind of hindered my start, and then a couple laps into the heat, something went wrong off of 2, and I shut it off because I didn't want, sometimes when an engine is, destroying itself inside, the longer you run it, the more catastrophic it gets. So kind of felt like something went south. It fell on its face off of 2. I kept in it for a second just to see, and it stayed that way, so I pulled in. So not sure if we lost an engine or what happened, but regardless, they're changing it right now, and we're going to be getting ready for a C main event next. So sucks we didn't finish the heat there, and just need the laps here at Eldora. This place is so different, so we're trying to get as many laps as we can tonight, and that's why we're changing an engine even though we are buried.
Green flag waves on the C main. Creed Kemmenaugh out to the early lead. Greg Wilson running in the 2nd spot. Cars bunched up for 3rd on back, including a 3-wide battle deep in the field on the top of the speedway. The 2014 Danny Sams trying to make it happen right up against the wall in his World of Outlaws debut. McKenna Hassey, Tanner Holmes, and Robbie Price going at it. They battle for the 3rd spot, give it to the Shark Racing 1T with 2 of 10 laps complete. This time by, there will be 3 laps to go in the C main. Does Tanner Holmes have enough time to try to reel in Greg Wilson for the transfer spot? They'll race to the 2 to go signal. This time Tanner Holmes higher on the speedway in 3 and 4. 2 laps to go. Both Wilson and Holmes getting closer to leader Creed Kemmenaugh. Greg Wilson glued to the very bottom of the speedway in 1 and 2. Tanner Holmes trying for a run down the backstretch. 3 cars will race for 2 transfer spots as they cross under the white flag. 1 lap remaining in the C. Wilson to the very bottom again in 1 and 2. Creed Kemmenaugh right in front of him. Tanner Holmes up top. They'll race down the backstretch into 3 and 4 for the final time. Holmes now to the outside of Wilson for the transfer spot. Checker flag in the air. Kemmenaugh gets the win, and at the line, Greg Wilson hangs on for the final transfer position.
So the midgets are out there right now. We just ran our C main event and started 8th and finished 3rd. So unfortunately that was not enough to transfer us into the B, but kind of going into the C with, sometimes how dangerous lower main events can be. And even if we would have transferred through, our plan was kind of to get those laps, and then now we're going to be taking a provisional into tonight's A main event. So I believe we're going to be starting 25th or 26th. I don't know if another car is taking a provisional here on the Outlaw Tour, which basically allows the full-time teams to, start a race that they miss, and they get so many of them a season, which is definitely nice. So we're going to get to go out there. Going to be great for me. I need more laps at Eldora. I felt much better there in the C main event. I think I can go a little bit more, and we're going to work on the car, just trying to get a little more drive as it's extremely slick, or at least heading that direction. There's still something to kind of lean on and a little bit to grip up on the bottom down by the inside wall. But the midgets are literally going green as we speak, and then we'll have our 30-lap race next.
So here's a look at the track before we head out.
So we'll be rolling off from 25th. I confirmed the very final row. I don't think anyone else is going out with us, taking a provisional from the full-time cars, and it is on the fence. It's getting slicker and slicker. There's still, I guess there's not a lot of grip out there, but kind of depending on how you run your line, you can carry momentum and move around. And even guys there in the midgets were making the middle work a little bit and the diamond line, and just doing whatever you can to keep your wheels spinning and moving forward. So starting in the back here, just want to get more laps. We made some adjustments to our car to try to be a little bit tighter, and for me to kind of figure out Eldora and try to make a charge moving forward. The first couple laps are going to be key, especially when everyone's really close on half miles. It's easy to get spread out, and that's when you lose time, and it's hard to track the guy in front of you down. It's hard for guys behind you to track you down without a lot of mistakes. So just try to run a good race here, get better every single lap, and work on being more consistent. I'm walking on one of the most famous dirt tracks in the country as we end tonight's show.
You guys want to know what you call a track like this? It's literally an ice skating rink.
Literally racing on ice. So slick. Nothing to grab ya. Whatever was there at the beginning, you know, maybe there was a little, it was all gone after 30 laps.
And then as you walk up the banking, you got a nice little cushion next to the wall.
Glad I saw Eldora as the shark racing guys are pulling out. They're on their way to Sharon. Glad I got to experience this place and just kind of get a night out of the way. I feel like some racetracks, you know, some you kind of show up and they're maybe similar to something you've ran before. You can kind of compare them size-wise, banking, the shape of the corner, kind of how they race, but Eldora is kind of like an Knoxville. There's nothing like it out there.
Which makes it extremely difficult to show up and just be fast.
And I actually think we unloaded well. If I could have just done my job a tiny bit better in qualifying, I think I would have put ourselves ahead and we could have locked directly into the show through the heat race, which we then ended up having some engine problems. We were about 3/10 off of quick time. And then as the night went on, like the heat race, I felt like I was kind of okay for those couple laps. The C main, I felt better. And then there in the A, I think we kind of just talked about as a team how we could have been more aggressive and was not expecting it to be this slick of a surface. I mean, it appeared that way kind of at the beginning. We made some adjustments. We just should have went way farther.
And sometimes you live and you learn.
Add that to the notebook. I mean, that was really the purpose of the A-main event and taking a provisional, is for me just to go out there and get laps. I mean, of course, I wanted to pass some cars. Of course, it would look awesome to go 25th to 10th or 5th or whatever. But I was just out there almost kind of like 30 hot laps. You know, I didn't feel great off the start with the fuel load. I was okay, but just kind of struggled for some drive. And then once I got lapped, I really wanted to see what those guys were doing. So I tried to take a second to watch Rico, watch Gio. And then once I moved to the bottom, for maybe 6 or 7 laps, I actually ran, I feel like, a solid pace with the cars that were 5th through 7th. I think I was next to Hodenshield. He was kind of running the high side, and for a while he was just out there. And then I don't know what it was, but I lost a little bit, and then from there kind of slowed down. That's where I was talking about, you know, maybe just trying to be tighter and trying to get more grip and just being more aggressive with our changes we could have done. So long story short, I mean, I think in the feature, I don't even know where I finished. That actually doesn't matter. I was just out there for laps and just trying to be better, and then also we add to our notebook for us to just be better in general as a team.
And one last thing I wanted to touch on.
Always try to be real here on the video, and I'd be lying if I said these last 6 or 7 races, like the second half of the races that we ran here in the 1T, I've been struggling a little bit. And that's where it's so important to have good people behind you, and like, you know, we're working on getting the car better, I'm working on being better, just so we all can like click. And I think it's easy, and you know what, guys that don't run the, like as I'm figuring this out, I mean, I'm super early on this journey, but running the Outlaws full time, like one of the most difficult things for sure is, you know, trying to work on, you know, just bouncing high and low and like not letting it get to you. I think it's so easy. You know, I even found with myself, like as we struggled there a little bit, I kind of was getting down on myself more, and like confidence and like working on that, and like it's easy as a team to take a step down and then you're like trying to get back up. So I feel like right now we're just in this period where, I mean, I don't know if you call it a slump because it's only 6 or 7 nights, but like, you know, you went down a level and you're working on just trying to get your foot back up, just trying, like, and we're really trying as a team, and it's not an easy thing to do. It's not you just say it and do it and click it, like that's not how it works. So my shark racing guys are working really hard. I'm working hard. Like we're just kind of fighting through. We're pushing through the snow. Like we got a snowplow on the front. Like we're trying to just get that one step back, and I think some of that is just having a solid run, clicking together as a night, and you know, then you kind of gain some confidence and you get rolling again. That's all we're trying to do, is just get rolling again. Thought it was important to say that just because I know we've been struggling a little bit. It's been frustrating, like, but it's the Outlaws, and that's kind of how it goes through a 90 race stretch. So you got to be able to be outlaw tough. You got to be able to mentally, physically, whatever it may be, push through the highs and lows. And so right now we're just working through that, and I got a good guy behind me and Bobby Allen. I got a great crew, and Carly's been helping. We got Tyler, Blake, and you know, they're doing all they can to make the car as fast as it can go, and we're just going to keep racing and keep trying to, you know, work on improving our results and consistency and getting the car to where it needs to be and get the 1T closer to victory lane. So thank you for watching. Awesome to be at Eldora. Definitely a dream come true to be here for 4 Crown weekend, and looking forward to being back one day, and would love to run here 10 days in a row because that's what I need to do to be the best I can and get some laps around the Big E. So all right, see you next time. We're headed to Sharon tomorrow. Deuces.